So we have covered playing the open chords to grand finale. Now open chords are great because they ring into one another, they blend together really well, and they kind of give a nice big sound. That's not always what you want. Sometimes you want space between the chords, and there's other types of chords that are not open. That's basically the main feature that makes them nice and easy to keep them nice and short, which is great for a lot of times playing in a ensemble situation. You're not trying to fill up so much space, but you're trying to create just a certain space. And when you're not creating the space, you want it to go silent. And open chords can kind of ring over that sometimes and not sound as tight as a movable shape. So let's look at some other ways to play these chords. And we'll kind of spice up the sound a little bit too. Let's start with an easy couple chords to use. If you look at your chord sheet, there's on the C chord, we got C major. There's no C minor shape, but there is a C7 shape, which is a great shape. I love this shape. Very comfortable shape to use. It's great sound. You can play it all day. And on, well, actually, I'm playing it wrong so far. On the sheet, they would say to play it kind of like this. I'm avoiding the fat string because that's not the root note. C is the root note, and I would strum down from there, and including that skinny open string. And that would be great for a C7 chord. If I want to move it up, that E note has not moved up. It's still open and still there. So I could use this as a movable shape if that E string wasn't ringing out. So here's what I'm going to do. Now what I'm going to do here, it kind of has to do with the back of my thumb. I'm going to bring it over the top a little bit, which sometimes this is bad. This can cause problems sometimes. In this case, the problems that it causes are good. So we're going to kind of use this to our advantage. So what we want to do essentially is we're fretting the 4 middle strings and we're not fretting the 2 outer strings. So if we could get these to not, if we just took them off the guitar, then we'd have a nice movable chord. You could play C7, C sharp 7, D7, D sharp 7, E7, F7, so on. And that's basically what we're going to do. But if you bring your thumb over the top, you can touch the fat string so it doesn't vibrate. You don't want to push it down so it frets. You just want to get it so it dies out. Just get a chunk sound and it dies out immediately. And when you do that, look what happens here with this. Let me move my capo out of the way a little bit. As I bring my thumb over the top, that kind of pulls this index finger back, and same thing happens here. Now the 2 outer strings are muted. The inner ones are not. Now I can move this chord everywhere. So we were looking for an E7 chord earlier, and in the last video we could play it this way or this way. And those are still great ways to play it. We could still use those, but we could also, instead of E7 here, we could go C7, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So now you got 2 ways to play it. So like on those first 4 bars of the song where you got to play it for a long time. You could have 2 different ways you could strum it to kind of spice it up a little bit. So if we're way up here, we probably don't want to jump right down there to go to A7. So let's find a closer one. Let's look at an E7 shape. I'm going to bar this. So to bar it, I'm going to switch to these fingers because I need to bar with my first finger. I'm going to slide it up a fret and slap it across the first fret. So now I got E7, F7, F sharp 7, G7, G sharp 7, A7. That's what we need right there. A. Both of them are A7 chords. So we got 2 ways to play that. And that A7 is nice and close to this E7 that we just figured out. If this is A7, we also need a B7, A sharp, B. So we got E7, A7, B7. So the next video, what we're going to do is play same grand finale using these chords.